Welcome back to another episode of the Cookout here on Certified Gumbo channel. Joining me as always, the host, Imani. What's going on?
What's popping?
Hey, man.
I'm out here living life, hopefully COVID free. I took a COVID test yesterday, and for everyone who doesn't know, if you go to a CVS, you do a COVID test in the great USA, you go through the drive-thru, you will be administering that test yourself.
That's insane.
They're literally going to hand you the kit through a box, and you're going to stab yourself in the nose for 15 seconds in each nostril. You will cry.
No, it's not that bad.
Well, tell my teared up that they had a mind of their own.
Yeah.
Also joining us is Donovan. How's it going, sir?
Pretty good.
Yes, sir. Okay, so man, we've got a jam-packed show today. A lot of DC stuff. Mainly, 90% of this show today is DC. That was the conversation behind the scenes that we agreed upon. We got some other news. We'll go talk about Marvel and some other things as well later in the show. We got our community hour. But first things first. Well, you know what? We don't want to talk about WandaVision right now.
I mean, we can start with the Marvel stuff.
We can start with the Marvel. All right, let's start. Yeah, let's do that. Let's start with the Marvel stuff. Since Donovan is joining us, we hadn't got his opinion on episode 8 yet.
Yes, Donovan.
I was like, there's only one more episode.
that was your first thought. It's like
it was like I don't know how they're gonna fit everything in. I feel like that episode should have been like 7.
I feel you.
Okay, I can buy that, and it depends on. I mean, yeah, I could.
I love the episode, but I was like after that, I was like, there's only one more. It's like how are they gonna?
Everyday Geeks was happening. Yeah, I mean, I think I've come to the conclusion that this show is going to end on a cliffhanger. Like it's not going to resolve everything. Like it's just not. Like it's not. I think we talked about it on the show yesterday. Like there's no way that this is going to be a conclusion that's satisfactory as far as a season finale goes. It's not going to be that, because everything's going to spill over into the other properties that are upcoming. So,
the movies. They're just going to leave into the other movies.
Yeah, we're not getting the ending that we want. So
I was wrong about Mephisto having the kids. So.
Yeah, it appears she just conceived those kids with her chaos magic entirely, which is interesting. That's just a testament to her power as well. She is one of the most powerful, if not the most powerful Avenger. So just proving it in this show. And I did see that Everyday Geeks, that there is the rumor right now is that the runtime for the last episode is going to be 50 minutes. And that probably includes the credits. So that's knocking down to like 42 minutes, really.
And the post-credit scene.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, no, there shouldn't be a post-credit scene unless the post-credit scene is like Dr. Strange and stuff like that.
I think this show was going to end not happily and not in the way we want. It's going to end to keep us hyped for the next thing, or just a serious cliffhanger. Like, I suspect angry voices next Friday.
Yeah, this is probably going to be, my prediction is that episode 9 is going to be the best trailer for the Multiverse of Madness. that's basically what episode 9 is going to be. That's what it is. It'll be a 50-minute long trailer to get you hyped for the Multiverse of Madness.
And that one comes before the Spiderman movie, right?
In the timeline, well, yeah. Because I think they're still filming Spider-Man. They haven't wrapped principal yet down in. I think they're in Atlanta for that.
Multiverse of Madness. Doctor Strange is coming out before Spider-Man 3.
That's what I was asking.
So. Doesn't it?
I just always assumed that Spider-Man 3 was coming out because we were getting so much Spider-Man news. Like the fact that we knew about all these cast.
Yeah, that comes out March 25th. The Multiverse of Madness. Because that's been done. Like that. Okay. Yeah, they wrapped that a while ago.
25th of this year?
Oh no, it's 2022. Oh wow. Okay, so yeah, never mind. I was misinformed with that. I thought that's why that's wild. I just know this show ties directly into that, so I was just assuming that was like the big preview for that movie, which would come out this year, but that's not the case. So Spider-Man 3.
Yeah, and but also the Spider-Man
interesting
been off though, because Spider-Man Far From Home takes place after this, well after
because it's a ways into the future,
right? And so we can only assume that No Way Home takes place even further after that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, they released the title?
Yes, it's officially No Way Home.
Okay.
Yeah, that came out.
It came out the day after the fake title.
Home Slice and Phone Home stuff.
And Home.
Yeah. Was it the day after, or was it that night? I thought it was that night.
Probably that night.
It was on. Yeah, it was. Because they revealed the title on Fallon or whatever that late night show was. Whichever one is on ABC, because Disney owns that one.
Yeah, I haven't watched late night in forever.
Yeah. So yeah, that they were just building up the hype for the his late night appearance, and then they revealed the title on that. I didn't watch the episode, but I mean that's just how they market these and promote this stuff. But yeah, I mean, actually, I think so. My rating for the episode went up because I'm right now at a solid 8. Because and something I didn't talk about with the episode yesterday was the emotional beats that it hit. That was a great performance by Elizabeth Olsen. Like I'm still thinking about it. Like she did a really good job with those flashback sequences, and also the scene that stands out to me the most was when she went to the sword base.
Oh,
and she's and she's standing over him, and she touches his head and says, like, "Why can't I feel you?" I was like, "Yo, felt."
I wanted her to go egg and Jaeger on that whole building.
Yeah, for real. Like, I didn't know what she was going to do because I was like, she might go berserk.
I knew she wasn't going to lose her mind. Like, although she is grieving, and it's clear because she's so upset that she's basically destroyed a whole town and doesn't realize it. But I stood firm that she was not just going to steal Vision's body and break the Sokovia Accord. So I'm not going to let that go. Like, I feel so good to be validated about that. But I definitely underestimated her power and her grief.
Yeah.
To find out that as of right now, it looks like Mephisto isn't responsible and that it's all her doing as far as creating the town and being so upset and controlling everyone and not knowing it. I definitely feel bad for her.
Yeah. Yeah, she's going through, and like all of the stuff that we saw from her past and her time spent with her parents, and like the explanation for why she set subconsciously the shows in the time period in which she did, in this alternate reality. It all makes sense. It's all tied to trauma that extends beyond. Like, I mean, it's just something that's followed her entire life. I saw someone saying that they believe that she subconsciously, like unconsciously, stopped the Stark bomb from going off in her house. Which I don't know. We didn't talk about it on the episode yesterday, but like there was a timer on the bomb. It was flashing at the same pace and beat in tone as the toaster from the commercial. Oh yeah. That was I peeped that immediately. I just forgot to talk about it on the show yesterday, but I was like, oh, that's why the toaster was beeping like that, because it was.
Yeah. It was a Stark toaster too. So.
Yeah, that was the only Stark product. Everything else was Hydra.
Yeah. So as soon as like the bomb came through the house and it showed like the Stark logo on the side, like the next thing it holds on is that light, and it's flashing, and it's the same sound as the toaster. And I was like, dang, okay, so she's masking all of her trauma in these commercials. Like, I thought that was cool. That was a really cool thing that they did. This is a very strong episode for me. Like the the more I think about it.
When the show ends, I'd like to rewatch everything because I bet now that it's over, we'll catch things in episode 1 that we wouldn't have caught unless we finished everything.
Yeah, actually, I rewatched everything up until episode 8, and then watched episode 8 like this week. So there were some things that I definitely missed, and there are some connections that were created, or at least things that were revealed in later episodes that I missed. And so yeah, that'll definitely happen. But yeah, where are we on time? Let's keep it moving.
Let's get into Loki.
All right, let's do it.
So Disney Plus and Marvel have announced that Loki is going to start on June 11th of this year, and I'm excited to see when this takes place. I know that the Loki that we're going to see is the Loki from the first Avengers film.
Yep.
Right?
Yes, that is correct.
You know that he grabs the Tesseract and he transports himself elsewhere. And I'm just wondering what time period that's going to be. Is it going to be connected to this new multiverse in any way? Or is it, starting a completely separate storyline for Marvel?
I saw someone tweet earlier today that the MCU is now going to become like the MCM.
I saw
Marvel, the Marvel Cinematic Multiverse, and I'm like, yeah, I can buy that. Like, I think that all of this is just multiverse stuff now at this point. Like, anything and everything with character development is possible. I mean, it's still not off the table like the Fox X-Men stuff, even though the episode kind of sort of pulled the curtain back on what happened with that. The Fox Quicksilver Agatha said she used possession magic, which means like she just possessed his soul. Like, so he's a real living thing somewhere in another multiverse. Like, so everything is still on the table for connections and characters to cross over, and for stories to be told in alternate universes than the 616. Which I thought was, I think that's cool. Like, and honestly, I think that's a good thing for the X-Men because they don't have to do a full-on reboot. Like, the Fox universe could still be canon, just in another multiverse. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, now Fantastic Four, on the other hand, like that thing needs to we need to start over. That's one that needs to start from scratch. Like, overall, the X-Men, the X-Men projects, they've had a few sour apples here and there, but like overall, I think most fans are satisfied with the X-Men universe, and the characters and the casting. But I think that last Fantastic Four movie, we need to do a fresh start in the Marvel 616 with them.
I think we need a reboot in like actors, but I don't need to see an origin story again. I'd like to see the first time we see Reed Richards, I'd like him to already be Mr. Fantastic. Let him have his powers already. Let's just get right into it. The world knows who these people are. We know how they got their powers. Let's just start. Like, I want to know what's next.
Yeah, I think they should do it the same thing, the same way they treated Spider-Man. Was like, they just threw Spider-Man in there. Like, he'd already got bit. Uncle Ben was already dead. Well, we don't really know what happened to Uncle Ben. He's just not around. I don't know if he's dead or not. But we skipped the origin story. Like, we know who Peter Parker is. We know what he's going through. That scene with him and Tony Stark was amazing. Like, they just need to do the same thing with Reed Richards, Sue Storm, Johnny Storm, and the Thing. What's his name actually? Because I forget his name.
Me too. I always just call him the Thing.
I just call him the Thing as well. Like, I don't know his real name. But yeah, like they don't need to do an origin story for the Fantastic Four or the X-Men, really. Like, just throw them in the universe. Like,
Ben Grimm is the Thing's name.
Ben Grimm. Exactly. Why? I knew that too. That's the thing. It was just, that sounds like another like superhero moniker and not his real name. But yeah, even with Blade, there's no need to do an origin story for Blade. Like, let's just throw these characters into the mix. uh, in some interesting ways. Like, let's be creative with how we introduce these characters instead of telling full out like origin stories. Like the Eternals, that's one thing because we don't really. A lot of people don't know who the Eternals are, so they definitely need an origin story. But these more well-known characters don't need origin stories. Like, let's be creative with their introductions.
Yeah, just start them. Don't even give them their own movie first. Let's see them in another film, which I think has already been rumored that we'll see them in
Ant-Man, right?
Galaxy.
Ant-Man. I know Reed Richards is rumored to appear in Ant-Man.
Yes.
There was a rumor that I don't know who's corroborated this rumor, but I saw some that the Doctor Doom was possibly going to appear in the next Black Panther, and he might be the main villain. And yeah, as far as Sue Storm, we don't know. They did leave it open, in my opinion, for Professor X, or not Professor X, but Magneto to still be Wanda's father, even though we see her father in this episode 8. Still the possibility that that he might just be a stepfather, that and Magneto was just never around, because that is
he stepped up and did Magneto's job, because
basically
Magneto is unfit and a deadbeat.
Yeah, because
most mutant parents are.
There's one of the origin stories for that is that Magneto didn't know what's her name was pregnant. Like they broke up before she found out she was pregnant, and so and she never told him. Afterward, they just kind of fell out of touch, and then the stepfather basically stepped up and became their father. But
he's the guy that
could
sells
still be happening.
DVDs at the. He's the guy that sells DVDs at the barbershop.
Yeah, basically.
That's
so he's
dang,
man.
Sorry.
So he's the one basically that steps in. Yeah, the alternate Earth Illuminati and Dr. Strange. I saw that earlier this week too. Which is interesting that they're going with an alternate Illuminati when they haven't even introduced the Illuminati, but I'm happy that they're coming into the picture. They're definitely like they're taking the training wheels off on Marvel. We don't need training wheels with this universe anymore. Especially with these popular characters.
Yeah, speaking of sorry for the WandaVision, but I think that's like the darkest they've kind of like gone. It seemed like the tone wise.
Yeah. Well, because she had to confront her past. Like she couldn't. Yeah. Like the whole thing. Like all this happened was because she basically is dealing with her trauma in the wrong way. Like she's not confronting it head on. She uses her chaos magic to create this false reality, and she doesn't even know how she was able to pull that off so effortlessly, which was Agatha's issue in the first place, because she's like, how is she doing all of this with like no effort at all? Like
Agatha was straight hating. That was the whole episode was just hate. Like, yo, I was trained to be a witch. I stole other witches' powers. I'm stupid powerful. And you were out here casting spells 10 times stronger than mine, and you don't even know how you're doing it. Like, yeah, that was the whole episode was just one big hate session.
Yeah, well, I mean, really, chaos magic is not even supposed to, like, no one's supposed to be able to wield chaos magic. Like, it's a myth even amongst the magic community. Like in the comic books, Dr. Strange doesn't even believe that chaos magic is real till House of M, really. And then when Wanda exhibits her full power, he realizes, oh, so this chaos magic stuff is real, because like no one uses it. Like only one person in the past has ever used chaos magic before Wanda, and I forget his name, but he's supposed to be like an ultra powerful like earth god, and basically there was a legend that whoever wielded the chaos magic would be basically his vessel for his return back to Earth and back to the real world. So she's kind of like Raven from DC in that way. Like she's supposed to be kind of sort of the vessel for this Earth God to use to manifest himself in the real world. So that's kind of that's why everyone is kind of like confused as to how she's able to do that, which is also why I'm like, how does Director Hayward know that she has this power? Like, this dude is not at all who he says he is, because he shouldn't know that. He shouldn't know that at all.
I think someone who would know whether or not she can do that is Nick Fury. So one thing Nick Fury does is he makes sure he knows who he's messing with. You can't one up Nick Fury. And
that's true.
Because of actions in Spider-Man Far From Home, the more I think about it, the more and more I believe that the director is a Skrull that was hired by Nick Fury and was basically given his booklets. Because in Far From Home, Nick Fury took off. And if he did that, like after the events of Endgame, and just decided, I'm going to go on vacation, and he doesn't come out of that until the end of Far From Home, like he's straight chilling right now while Wanda is going through all of this. People are supposed to be reporting to him anything bad, and they're not doing it because they're afraid of him, and all hell is breaking loose on Earth, and he has no idea.
Wow. Yeah, he is, but he does make sense. Like, he would be the one that would know that she has the potential to wield that. And so in that light, because I didn't think about that. But yeah, that does make sense.
And Nick Fury was so just tired of all of this ish after Endgame that he just disappeared. Like, you saw him at the funeral, and then that was that. And then you see him again after Far From Home, and he is on a spaceship in a vacation simulator with a Mai Tai, and he got his feet out.
Oh man. Well, honestly, it's a well-deserved break, because he's been putting all this together. Honestly, he's been more involved than everyone else, because they started this initiative back in the 90s, him and Maria. So I understand. This is probably the first vacation that he's taken since the 90s.
Definitely.
So it's earned. Unfortunately, it's just bad timing.
Very bad timing.
Anyway, I think that's well, but the Loki show, I'm definitely looking forward to that, because I don't think I said that, but that is my most anticipated show, even before WandaVision and Falcon and the Winter Soldier, like, because of the multiverse implications, and then them using, like, them dealing with time travel and all of that, because that opens up the floodgates for a lot of things also. And then King the Conqueror, is he supposed to be in this Loki show? I know he's going to be coming up in one of these properties soon, but he's definitely tied to time travel.
The Loki show, and they casted the gentleman who played Atticus in Lovecraft Country. His name escapes me.
Jonathan
Majors.
Yeah,
yes,
Jonathan Majors.
Also, although I've said several times that...
Yo, Gabriella! What's going on?
What's going on?
See you. How you been?
We miss you.
This is awesome.
Even though I've said several times that this is going to be the same Loki from the first Avengers movie, I just realized that means that this is not the Loki that was killed in Infinity War, who had, grown emotionally and was a better person.
Nah, this is the problematic Loki.
This is problematic Loki.
This is the best Loki.
So
this is the God of Mischief. Yeah, this is my favorite version of Loki. This is the God of Mischief. This is the one you can't trust. I like this. That's the one I like, because he's so very much on par with his comic book self. Like I like that. I'm that's what I'm looking forward to, because now he's gonna have to grow and get to that point from a different angle. You know what I'm saying? Like, the same events that guided his old self to this growth. Like, none of that's going to happen for him. He's going to have to find that way in another, in a new way, in a new light. And he might actually become a better hero through this series.
I hope so. I think from the teaser trailer that we saw, it looks like he was going to be taken through his life on some, like, Scrooge type thing, like past, present, and future, taking him through events. And if that's the case, that would be dope to see how he handles that.
Yeah.
You're talking about King the Conqueror.
Yeah, Kang the Conqueror. So do we know if Loki is going to be, is this a one and done series or is there potential for multiple seasons? Have they
I saw
said?
that Marvel is considering it now that WandaVision has been so successful. But as of right now, there was not supposed to be sequel shows for WandaVision or for Falcon and the Winter Soldier, because both of them were movies that were, well, WandaVision was completely changed into a TV show, and Falcon and the Winter Soldier is a film that they've broken down into several parts.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because I knew that for those two shows, but I believe that the Loki show was always positioned as a TV show for Disney Plus. I don't think it was supposed to be anything else. I might be wrong, but if my memory serves correct, like it was always geared to be a TV show, which means that I would anticipate that the first season with the possibility of a season 2, but it would have a nice conclusion for the events of that first season. Given that, what do you think? Let's say hypothetically we have a season 2 for Loki. What are the chances that we'll see Josh Brolin's Cable appear in that show?
Actually, that kind of takes us into our next topic a little bit,
which is
that Kevin Feige and Marvel are not the biggest fans of rated R films, because as of right now, the only film that's being planned that's in the plans to be rated R is Deadpool 3.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
So that means we're going to get a PG-13 Morbius, which is currently not rated, but he basically said what the rating is going to be, and a PG-13 Blade, which sounds
are they still writing Blade? They're still writing Blade, right?
I mean, I would think so.
Yeah, I don't think that script is done. So that I would say that's probably still
that has to be
debatable. Yeah, that was debatable.
He said,
I would say.
Well, I'll say this: I'm not going to get my hopes up and have them crushed if it's not rated R. I'd rather be thinking that it's PG-13 and then get excited when they say it's rated R versus me thinking that it's going to be rated R and hoping for it, and then they're like, nah, the PG-13 you playing.
Yeah, I would agree. I kind of interpreted that as his goal isn't to create R-rated movies, but I think that if the right script is presented and it's done in the right way and it just so happens to be R, I think he'll be okay with it, which is why I think in the case of Blade, like if depending on how good the script is, and I think Mahershala Ali will have a lot of input in that, given his credentials and his pedigree. If he likes the script and doesn't want to change it, and and it comes back as an R-rated, I don't think they're gonna not. I don't think Feige will change it.
I would hope not. Everyday Geek says he says if the movie calls for it, then it will be rated R, and I am hoping that the movie will be called for it. I mean, it's a vampire movie. There's going to be blood involved, which he knows is one of the core factors of a rating.
Because I thought on CG blood now, it's has a different effect than actual old school corn syrup. Doesn't it have effect on the rating? No,
because Deadpool is CGI.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's so many different. It's a lot easier now to get a R rating than it has ever been.
Because I know if there's violence in movie, like killing, if they're seem non-human, you can push the edge more. Say if you're destroying robots or something like that, you can be more graphic and still get a PG-13.
Right.
But because it's not considered. It's not considered gore. Organic, Blade, and it's going to be hard for Blade not to be an R-rated film, just given the nature of the character.
A good film to think about when you're thinking about rating, specifically PG-13 to rated R when you're talking about violence in films, is the last Harry Potter film. It was very violent. but there was no blood at all, besides like the occasional bruise or something on a person. Blood in that film would have taken it to rated R, easy, because of how violent it was.
Because I know Indiana Jones Temple of Doom, that's PG-13.
What was the rating for?
I think that was the first PG-13 movie.
What was the rating for what you call it? The Punisher TV show. What was the rating for that?
On Netflix?
Or the one?
Yeah, the Netflix series.
I think that was just rated mature. Like, I don't think it had like a.
But because the TV system is a little different, but how they rank in film, but it should be up there. Like
when you type in rating, IMDb.
Because in my opinion, what's that?
When you search ratings, like people's reviews pop up. We want the overview. Can you see that if you go to Netflix, what the thing is?
Yeah. But I'm curious, like, is that like 17, 18 plus? Possibly. It probably was, but like he would say, or in Daredevil was pretty violent too. So I don't know what the ratings were for those, but I don't think he would have a problem with content like that. Yeah, so I don't think in that case, like I don't think he would have a problem with it given the nature of the content. I think he's just doesn't want to aim to make R-rated properties for Marvel. That's just how he approaches stuff. Like he's gonna serve the story no matter what.
Yeah, because like Blade and Deadpool, those are like R-rated characters, pretty much.
Yeah, it's like, so it's going to be hard to execute certain characters without and do those characters justice without that property being getting an R rating. So I think he's going to continue down that path.
It looks like all of the Marvel shows on Netflix are rated TV mature.
Yeah, so I wouldn't be surprised, and he doesn't. I don't think if they bring those characters into it, I think that they would also continue down that same rating. I wouldn't take that. I would take that comment with a grain of salt. I think he doesn't want to give the perception that now you're going to see a lot more R-rated stuff out of Marvel. I think that's more or less what he's trying to do. I think he's more or less trying to temper expectations with that comment.
I hope so, because I want more R-rated superhero films. I rewatched all of Blade. I downloaded Logan to watch it. I plan on watching that this weekend. And I watched Dread today. I watched it yesterday. I watched it again today. And that movie had a few issues, but I really like it. And it was violent as heck. And I want more films like that in Marvel.
Is it and
they make money too, so it's like,
yeah,
Falcon and the Winter Soldier is up there too. It's like 17, 18, isn't it? Like that's a more mature. It got a more mature rating.
We'll see. I never finished Punisher because it stressed me out and I needed a break, but I loved that energy, and I'm kind of hoping we get that out of Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Yeah, well, I don't think it'll go to that extreme. I think it'll be more on the. Yeah, I think it'll be more in line with the action that we saw in Daredevil, but there'll be a lot more levity in it because you got Sam in it, and he's going to have his witty remarks as he usually does. So I think the intensity will still be there, like that we got with Daredevil, at least to some degree. Or Luke Cage, like those shows are kind of they got violent. Like it will be violent. Like, and I think there's examples of like you can make a really violent PG-13 show or movie, but like it's like
just do quick cutaways.
Oh, something's up with the camera. What were you saying, Diamond? I cut you.
I'll say like you could like for like PG-13, you can like just do quick cutaways for the violent parts.
Hope if you can see us, you're frozen.
Am I frozen?
You're like going in and out. Sometimes you're frozen and your mic is doing it too.
Oh man. Okay, Falcon and the Winter Soldier is TV 14. That's cool. What's going on?
TV 14? Come on, Disney. So is TV mature the level after TV 14?
I believe so.
That makes sense.
I believe so. Like, so it's like it can still be on the line. I think it's going to be a hard TV 14. But anyway, beyond that, let's get into we're 30 minutes into the show. Let's get into some of this DC stuff.
Let's do it. Well, first, Emilia Clarke is rumored to replace Amber Heard in Aquaman 2. It's just a rumor right now. It hasn't been confirmed by anyone, but it has been confirmed that Amber Heard is out. We just don't know who's going to replace her, or even if the character is going to replace. But Forbes did published an article about Emilia Clarke and stated in that article that she will be replacing Amber Heard, but it hasn't been confirmed by anybody. We don't really know. They didn't, source that, so we don't know where that came from. But social media really loves it, and it would be basically a Game of Thrones reunion. You get to see Khaleesi and Khal Drogo on screen again.
Yeah, well, if Forbes reported that, then it probably came from a very reputable source that they have. The studio hasn't made any official announcements or statements other than Amber Heard has departed. Like, that did come from the studio, correct? That Amber Heard is leaving?
I believe so.
Okay, so they just haven't confirmed who's going to replace her yet. But if Forbes is reporting that, then you can probably bet your bottom dollar that she's been cast in that role. And I think it's a good move. I think she deserves to get more of these roles. She's proven that she's a very capable actress. And I definitely want to see her in more stuff.
Yeah. Especially what they did that last season of Games. Like,
yeah. She deserves
more.
Absolutely, because they did her rude in that last season.
Did anybody really do well in the last season?
Oh, that was Dumb and Dumber.
Bran.
Dan and Dan.
Oh, Bran won.
Bran is the only one that won in season 8. Are you kidding me?
He didn't even win. He didn't want to be there either.
They made him king. I mean, so
he won. He was like, "That's cool."
As far like, I'm just saying, his character is the only one that came out on top of that. Like, the rest of them got screwed over.
But he was like, okay.
But yeah, he didn't want it. He didn't want it.
I guess I'll be your king. I guess.
Bruh, nah, he was a snake because he knew that the whole time. He saw into the future and saw that he was going to be the one. I don't like it. I'm not talking about that no more. It's triggering me. But yeah, no, I'm cool with Emilia Clarke.
I thought he was going to be the Night King the whole time, but
that would have made way more sense. That would have been heartbreaking, and it would have been on brand with what that show was doing. And I hope the books depict that ending in a different light.
He says he sucks.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about it.
Yeah, the DCU does. Yeah, that cinematic universe is it's a mess.
So
I would argue that those CW shows are terrible. They're just better than the movies, but they are horrible. Those shows.
They're cohesive in that,
like the first 3 seasons of all those shows are pretty good. Now they're just like a soap opera.
No, here's like those. I couldn't watch those in real time because they come out weekly, and I would not be able to stay invested in that weekly format for those shows. Like I binge them after, like, once they go out on streaming services, because it's easier for me to get through all of the filler, because there's a lot of filler in those shows, in my opinion.
The first Flash, I think that was like the best season though, but that was pretty.
Yeah, but
I didn't really.
that was one that I'd streamed. I didn't watch that in real time.
Oh,
I just can't see myself watching that in real time. Like, and being interested enough to like follow week to week, because even when I was streaming it, I would like watch 3 episodes and then I would stop and then do something else. But I could never like straight binge the first like any of those seasons of those shows. But they are definitely way better than the movies. I'll give it that. But their animated shows are like phenomenal. Those are great.
Yeah.
DC excels in the animated realm.
Yeah, the animated.
All those are all like on point.
Yeah, I'd recommend anybody watch the all of it. You can't go wrong with anything on the animation.
While all these shows and films are going on, it was announced and confirmed that J.J. Abrams is working with Ta-Nehisi Coates on a new Superman film.
Yeah.
And as exciting as happy as I am for Ta-Nehisi Coates, and I like J.J. Abrams, so I'm kind of hyped about that too.
Well,
Donovan,
he's a good opener.
It's because you don't like what he did in Star Trek.
I didn't really care for Star Trek that much either. I just don't like the mystery box. That's kind of like a gimmick.
It works better with TV.
Yeah. Oh no, like he's a good opener, but like he just
I think overall, I think his work in TV is way better than his films. Just overall, like Lost and Fringe to me are like, those are really good shows. Fringe is lost in its own stuff, but like Fringe was great. Like Fringe is the example. Like that's like the top billing on his resume, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's him at his best.
Yeah, but that's also, I mean, Lost is kind of a weird thing because they had that writer strike in the middle of it too, so that kind of screwed everything up for them. And so there were some weird things happening with that, but overall, I think he's a better.
Before that strike, though, if we're gonna be honest,
it was. But there was some level. There's a lot of like it can work, but the mystery box works way better in TV show than it does in a film or franchise, in my opinion. He even did it with The Force Awakens, and everyone else after that kind of dropped. Well, not everyone. The second person in line kind of dropped the baton on that because he set up a lot of. Yeah, I'm not sure what his name is, but
it was Ruin Johnson.
He didn't
didn't
deliver on the promises that. Well, he didn't deliver on what was set up in that first movie. So, I don't know. I think as long I like Super 8 too. Super 8 was fun. The movie, I like that. That was a good one.
He's also responsible for the Cloverfield.
Cloverfield, I do like too. So
I think he did all 3 films. So
yeah, Cloverfield is up there for me too. So yeah.
Do you have a favorite JJ production, Amon?
Probably the first Cloverfield. I watched that monthly.
Oh, really? The first one?
I rewatched Cloverfield, 10 Cloverfield Lane. That one isn't my favorite. I really enjoy Cloverfield Paradox on Netflix. I think I like that one better than 10 Cloverfield Lane, but I love Cloverfield. That was like at the height of films being filmed like in first person with a camera.
Yeah, I got motion
the found footage.
Yeah, the found footage. I love that movie. Like, and it took place in New York City. Like, I knew where they were, and I was like, "No, sis, don't go that way. Why are y'all on the bridge?" Like, yeah, I love that movie.
You're yelling the GPS to him? I said you're giving out the GPS. Don't go that way.
No, it was more like there's monsters out here. Why are you on a bridge? That doesn't make sense. Don't get on a bridge and don't get Don't be on the top floor of a building, and don't go in the subway. That just doesn't seem smart either, because you might get trapped under rubble. What they found in the subway was even worse. But I will say they didn't have too many options, but I would have stayed like in a building, fourth or fifth floor. That would have been a safe spot, not at the top so you get knocked over, but not on the ground where you don't know what's down there. Excuse me.
I did that
every day.
I did. I really enjoyed Cloverfield as an experience. I didn't see that in theaters, but I did. I enjoyed that film as well.
I think where we have a problem with J.J. Abrams is when he's working on stories that already exist, like storylines. So like Superman is here already. Of course, that's not something that's what's the word I'm looking for? An original script.
Yeah.
An original screenplay. When he's doing original screenplays, we love him. And when he's, writing, he did Paranormal Activity?
No, he didn't.
Oh.
No, I think that's just Blumhouse.
Oh yeah, I forgot about Mission Impossible too. But he didn't. Did he direct? Yeah, he did direct Mission Impossible 3. I forgot about that. But he was a producer. He produced a lot of those films too. His production credit is solid. And is he going to be directing this Superman movie? And there's also I guess we got to get into the rumor too that the reboot is going to have a black Superman.
I saw that today. It wasn't confirmed. I thought it was a rumor, and I saw that the choice was Michael B. Jordan. And I do like.
Was that the choice, or is that fan casting?
It's not a fan cast I'm happy with. I love Michael B. Jordan, but like Trevante Rhodes is right there.
Because wasn't he in talks like a few years ago?
Wasn't
Michael B. Jordan?
What? I don't know.
Wasn't he in what?
He was like in talks with Warner Brothers to do the Black Superman.
Oh yeah, he was.
I don't know if that was a rumor. What's up, man?
Static Shock is DC.
I thought it was Static Shock. Wasn't it Static Shock? It wasn't Superman.
Well, no, that's already confirmed. That's happening. I'm asking if Static Shock is DC.
That is DC. But yeah, what I thought he was in talks to do Static Shock, not Superman.
Oh.
It's not even talks anymore. Like that project got greenlit. That's happening.
Yeah. Or maybe he was. I don't know. I can't remember. I know he was trying to get into the DC verse, though. That is confirmed.
I'm just saying, Trevante Rhodes is right there.
Yeah, they're fighting an uphill battle with me with Superman because Superman's not one of my favorite characters in general.
To me, he only works for me like during like the adolescent years.
Yeah, once he becomes Superman, like it's kind of like yeah. But I don't know. I don't care. I just don't care.
They still didn't really give Henry Cavill like a send off. Like he never really got to do his.
And
I feel like they're doing him dirty, because like
they are.
Because he is actually
like he never really got to be the Man of Tomorrow. It was just like did the one thing and then they killed him off, and then he showed up at the end of Justice League. And that was it.
And then they did him real dirty in Justice League. Well, I mean, Josh Whedon did everybody dirty in Justice League. So like, he drove Ben Affleck a drink, and he had to go to rehab. Like that whole production. Yeah, like that's why
I'm just now hearing all the stuff because I just saw like Sarah Michelle Gellar did a statement on Instagram saying like, "Oh, for like ever be grateful for Buffy, but like I don't want my name associated with him."
Yeah. Everybody is basically coming out
from his past projects.
Yeah,
awful.
Yeah,
I think like Michelle Trachtenberg said she had it in her contract like she wasn't allowed to be alone with him. So I'm like, I can't keep up with all this stuff, so I just.
Yeah, I mean, I contract that she couldn't be
alone. Like or something like that. Like she didn't want to be alone with him. Something crazy.
Well, I started paying a lot more attention to it once the Ray Fisher stuff hit the fan, and that blew up. And then like everyone else started coming out in support of him, and were like giving their recounts of like their experience with Josh Whedon, especially the cast and crew on set. Like they were.
So what happened to Ray Fisher though? Because I'm still. Did he say exactly what went down?
Removed as much of Cyborg from the film as he could. Ray Fisher was, disrespected behind the camera, and he just did everything he could to basically remove him, even though he was supposed to be there. If you think about it, like, we see so little of him on screen compared to the other heroes.
Okay, because I've seen the movie like once, and that was it. So
according to Snyder and everyone, the original script, there was a Cyborg had a major part. Him and the Flash, like, they were all featured
Marvin,
way more prominently. Martian Man. Well, he was in he was in it, but he wasn't like a main character. Like, but he had a presence in the film, from what I understand. And of course, he was one of the people that show up at the end in the big fight. But he's kind of sort of lurking in the background, like, and we see the actor Martian Manhunter is cut. He got cut completely from the film, from the Whedon cut. I think their screen time, most of Cyborg screen time was cut completely, and the Flash was cut significantly. But he and the Flash were significant in as far as like their importance in their roles in this story. And I think we'll see. Well, we have to, because the movie is 4 hours and 2 minutes. We'll see a whole heck of a lot more of those characters and like their backstories. Like, I think Cyborg had more of his backstory explained. Like, it had like an origin story written in it for his character, and he was from what I understand, he was going to have a very, very prominent role in this, and he was basically barely a side character in the Whedon cut. They were. I think from what he was being talked down to, like, they just completely disrespected him. They didn't. I think they threatened him. Well, according to him, allegedly, he was threatened that if he spoke out or said anything about his treatment on the film, like, they were basically going to blackball him from Hollywood, and he'll never be able to work on a project again, and stuff like that. So, and then after all that broke, like, everyone else talked about how Josh Whedon was mistreating them on set. I think Ezra Miller said some stuff. Gal Gadot co-signed a lot. What's my man? Aquaman. Yeah, he also co-signed. Like, he didn't like how Whedon was treating him or the other castmates. Henry Cavill as well.
Out in Ray Fisher's favor.
Yeah.
And once he did it, everybody else supported.
Yeah, Henry Cavill was like both Henry Cavill and what's his name?
Ben Affleck.
Ben Affleck were both very, very quiet after the set, but once everything started falling through, like, they all got vocal. And to your point, yes, once Aquaman spoke out, everyone else kind of sort of followed suit. So there's clearly something happened on that set. And what can't be dismissed is the actors who all say that they just didn't appreciate the environment that Josh Whedon created on set.
So apologies to Jason Momoa. I forgot his name. I had to Google it.
Yeah, I completely blanked. But yeah, Jason Momoa, he was definitely, he wrote a long support post on Instagram after that. So I whatever happened, I definitely believe that the cast and crew on that set were done wrong. They were mistreated, because if that many people come out and cooperate the story, like, clearly something happened.
So, and I have a bit of an issue with all this news coming out of DC about more and more films being made without, the Snyder cast, when the Snyder cut is about to come out. Right. Yeah. And now you have, fans asking to not end it. I think there was a trending topic on social media today about continuing the Snyderverse, or I think it was like, don't cancel the Snyderverse, something like that. This film is going to be big. It's going to be 4 hours long. It's going to be on HBO Max. Everybody and their mom is going to watch it that day. It's going to make them money. I don't understand making so many decisions about the DCEU before this film comes out. Was that Mrs.
Hey, Ma?
Hey, it's cool.
Like, I just don't understand it. Because let's just say this film performs great. You've already said that there's not going to be any more Batfleck. You're already planning on getting rid of Henry Cavill. Aquaman 2 is still happening, so that's great. But there's been no word on the Flash or Cyborg. Like, we don't know what's happening with these characters. So I'm confused.
Well, the issue is that the DC execs are having, they don't want to work with Snyder, basically. Like, they don't want him to be the creative lead for the DCEU going forward, because that's basically what he would be if he continues making these projects, which is why it's very risky for AT&T to approve the Snyder Cut coming out. And then like the DCEU, the DC executives after they announce that they're going to do the Snyder Cut, they basically say, well, it's not canon, so whatever happens is just you're creating a war and you're dividing the fan base like from jump. Now, if this movie comes out and it's miles better than the Whedon cut, and like everyone is like just imagine like this movie being the best movie in the DCEU. Like imagine if it surpasses Wonder Woman's reception. Like, I don't think that's going to happen. I just can't see this movie being better than the first Wonder Woman movie, but let's say it is, right? The fans,
if it's number 2,
are going to be so divided over this. Like, now you're going to have a fan base that hates anything that you put out, and they're going to start boycotting your films. And it's going to force them to either work with Zack Snyder more and like scrap their plans. Like, this is a hot mess that they're creating for themselves.
Have they chosen a person who is not Zack Snyder yet?
I think it's supposed to be JJ, and it's like you chose basically the same type of person.
Because
like
because JJ did a deal with Warner Brothers.
Yeah, but he's supposed to be the man. Like, he's supposed to be kind of sort of the one leading the charge on the DC front. That's what I've heard. Nothing, not confirmed, but the word on the street is that that's what he's been brought in to do. Not only for like the Universal stuff, but his main thing is going to be DC and getting that kind of sort of worked out and figured out. Which, if he is just going to be the producer, I think he could execute. But if he's going to be directing projects as well, I now am not so sure.
What am I thinking?
But now, but this news with them recasting already, announcing that they're going to recast Superman, like, it's like, all right.
It's not even a recast, it's a reboot. It's a completely different story.
So
they should just do the Flashpoint movie and then start over.
Or even just.
But does that even make sense? Like, how is that even gonna fly? Like, at this point, you know what I'm saying? Because it's like who's gonna lead that project? Like, who's directing that movie?
We've seen more villains on screen in DC out of all the films than we have heroes. Like, we've seen Batman on screen several times with several different villains. We've seen the Joker a couple times, but for the most part, they're giving us different people. Same with Superman. And now, but they keep repeating the same heroes over and over again. I don't understand how they see the success of the MCU and are still like, yo, we don't want to do that at all.
Well, they don't. To me, they don't want to put the work in behind the scenes that Marvel and like Disney have done with the MCU. Like, they had a 10-year plan for the MCU. Like, off rip, DC does not have a 10-year plan for the DCEU. There's no, it does not exist.
It seems like
they only have a 5-year
plan on the wall, and whatever sticks are green like that.
Yeah, like you can't underestimate or undervalue the fact that back in 2000, what was it, 2006, 2004, maybe 2005, before Iron Man 1 came out, they sat down with Kevin Feige and the Marvel team and Disney, and they sat down, they hashed out a 10-year plan for how the MCU was going to work, and that became known as Phase 1, right? Like, DC they've never done that, like, for their films. There's never been a sit down, come to Jesus meeting with, all right, let's figure out how we're going to tell all these origin stories and tie in to this grand event of Justice League. It was like, oh, let's look at what Marvel's doing. Let's make a movie like that. Let's make a movie. Let's copy Captain America, which is basically what Wonder Woman became.
Mm-hmm.
Let's copy Iron Man, which was what that the Batman versus Superman kind of sort of. Well, it was more like Civil War, really. Like, let's just copy that and make that Batman v Superman. Like all this stuff. It's like you're just copying what someone else is putting out, but you don't understand like the groundwork and everything that they have layered into their property.
And what's frustrating is like they own the whole universe.
Yeah, like they don't have any characters that are loaned out and sold off to other divisions and other companies. Like
choosing to do this madness.
Yeah, like they're choosing. They wake up and choose violence every day with this. Like it's like more can like it's wild to me. It's crazy. Like that they just can't or refuse to do what they have to do.
The Uncool says, I think the Flash movie is supposed to be basically Flashpoint. We're getting a Flash movie? I didn't even know that.
Yeah. I think
with Ezra.
Isn't that his last movie? I don't think he's
going to fired because then he assaulted a woman in Iceland.
But did he get fired or did he just leave? Did he just bow out? Either way, he's not going to be the Flash going forward, from what I understand.
I think they were just like, we don't even know if we're going to continue this storyline, so let's not have a conversation about it.
Yeah, like they don't know what the plan is for the Flash after Flashpoint, basically. Like it's insane.
If I was just like, tell them just do Flashpoint. Just do another alternate timeline to fix everything.
That movie is supposed to have the Michael Keaton Batman in it. But Ezra Miller is going to be playing Flash.
Okay. And that's going to lead into the Batman Beyond movie?
They have no idea.
Oh, okay.
They have no idea. Like it's being dead serious. Like they don't know, probably. But I don't know. Like the only thing that would make sense is for them to use Flashpoint to kind of restart the DCEU, but then if they're not going to recast Wonder Woman, then what is the point? Because it's not a full reboot.
They already greenlit Wonder Woman 3.
So that can't be the case. Like this can't be a reboot because you're going to reboot Superman.
You can still have Gilda Dot, just change her outfit just a little bit.
Like, but now she's going to just be in another universe now, and she's gonna abandon the current one that she's in, or they're gonna bring in the new Superman from another. Like, I don't understand. Like, what are they doing? Like,
also,
and then you've got the what's his name, Robert Pattinson Batman. That's a standalone that does not tie into anything else.
The movie got so much bad press before it even came out. Like,
right.
How is a movie not even out and you're hearing about arguments between the star and the production? Like that doesn't make any sense. It's almost like they were leaking information so that we wouldn't be interested, which is not going to happen. And
I think they'd be doing that like low key. Just they send out like bad PR just to get people talking.
Gotta be. But also, I think this movie is going to be good.
It's going to be better.
The R
yeah, but it's not canon. Like it's not like that. Like that's part of my frustration. Like everything I mean, I wasn't like on board with it at first, but the trailer looked really good and it sold me. But the trailer came out after the news that it's not canon and it's not part of the DCEU. So I'm like, well, yeah, it's going to be a good movie, but it's basically like part 4 of the Nolan Batman. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's all in the same category, and I don't even think Man of Steel is part of the DCEU.
It's not.
I don't think so.
It has to be because
it's Henry Cavill.
Yeah,
I mean,
and it takes place in the Batman v Superman.
Yes.
Yeah, it does. Okay, so it does. But now with Batfleck bowing out and that's not continuing, and Keaton's Batman is going to be the main Batman for. So it's not. How does that? It doesn't really tie in. So now they gonna have to reboot it, of course, because
I suspect that we're gonna get crazy news after the success of this film. Like, it's regardless of whether or not it's good, everyone is going to watch it. Just like how everybody watched Wonder Woman 2 and we all complained about the movie. We all complained about it, and people who didn't want to watch it went to go watch it to see how bad it was. And thus making HBO and HBO Max more money, getting Warner Brothers excited, and they greenlit a third film.
Yeah, that Wonder Woman. I thought I was watching the wrong movie.
yeah, that was
no arguments.
That mall scene, I'm like, I paused it and I'm like, yeah, no, this is the right movie. But no,
that was oh god, that was rough. That was a rough one. That was hard to watch. I'm not gonna lie to you. That was
it's like, just because it's a period piece doesn't mean you have to do all the tropes from all the crappy sitcom.
The only reason I actually watched that from start to finish is because I was with my family and like we were picking on it the whole time. Like it was nothing but jokes the whole movie. So like that's the only reason why I stayed in my seat to watch it. Otherwise, I would have, if I was home by myself, I would have never finished that movie. I'd have tapped out in the first like 7 minutes. Like,
I watched it with my family and we slept. Me, my mother, and my grandmother all fell asleep. The twins left. They weren't even in the room when it was over.
Yeah. So like it was that's the only thing that got me to watch the movie from start to finish was that my family, we were all having a good time talking about how bad it was. But yeah. What else we got to talk about? Because that's
I think that's it for DC. I think it's just
yeah. And so what's the official release date for the Snyder Cut now? Is it December? I mean, not December, March, what, 25th?
Oh,
March 8th?
No, I didn't say that. I was about to say 18th. But let me just double check.
Let us know in the chat on a scale of 1 to 10. March 18th. So yeah, let us know in the chat, like what's your level of anticipation like for this out of scale of 1 to 10 for the Snyder Cut. I think right now I'm at a solid 6.
I'm excited for it. I'm giving it, like, as far as how badly do I want to see it, I'm giving it a 10.
just out of anticipation.
I want to watch this movie.
A what?
A 10. That's how I'm watching this movie when it comes out.
Yeah, I'm like it.
I'm
gonna watch it, but I'm not really excited, or I'm just
Yeah, I mean,
my standards are low for what we're going to see, but I want to see it.
I'm not hype at all for it. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like I've got little to no. The only reason why I'm going to watch it is because I'm curious to see if the cut is better than the Whedon cut. Like that's my only interest in watching this.
I'll probably watch the Whedon version one more because I only seen that like once, so I pretty much forgot.
I watched it a couple weeks ago.
Yeah,
I tried. Like it made me scratch my I did this, and then I was watching something else after that. I just couldn't do it. I couldn't get through it. I was like, I can't. This is insane.
I watched Batman versus Superman, and then I watched Justice League.
Oh, I watched the extended cut, and that was just as bad as the regular cut. And everyone said, "Oh, watch the extended cut; it's way better." I was like,
the extended cut, I think, is better, but it's not a good movie. It's better, but it's still a bad film. Just all around, it's still worse. But I mean, there were some story holes that they filled, but it doesn't stop it from being a bad movie.
Just the idea, like people believe like Superman killed people with bullets. I'm like, what?
Yeah,
it's like, what?
It's like, I don't know. They could have just.
Yeah.
Also, Lois Lane had is that the Daily Bugle? That's not the Daily Bugle.
Daily Planet. Daily Bugle was Spiderman.
Spiderman, yes. Man, her budget for her articles and her research was crazy.
Yeah, for real though.
Yeah, no paper has that budget.
Right.
Speaking of like the Watchmen series on HBO, like that's DC and that's not even part of DCEU, and that's like the best thing that they got going right now. And there's no plans to continue that at all. And that's literally the best thing that DC has put out in forever.
live action wise.
I would rather it stay as it is right now than for them to mess with it and try to bring it into the shenanigans.
Oh, no, I don't want it to be a part of the current DCEU, but like the fact that like they have people that are capable of executing at that level is like insane to me, because they're clearly not involved in anything else that they got going on in live action. It's madness. It's absolute madness.
Well, that's kind of why I don't think that the Ta-Nehisi Coates and J.J. Abrams film would be bad. I'm just thinking it doesn't look good with all this other news that they have. So like the Watchmen story was, different writers. It was completely separate from the DCEU, which it made it good. And if this new Superman film can be, it's not its own thing, but the start of something new, fresh faces, fresh writers, fresh production, they can do something great. It just doesn't look good. Like you have a money that you have a movie coming out that you just poured mad money into. It's not out yet. And while this film, people are doing press about it and people are getting hyped for it, you're announcing a completely unrelated film with the same characters.
But okay, here's another thing is now the issue that I have with this film potentially, since it is it confirmed that they're going to have this is going to be a Black Superman?
I saw the rumors this afternoon.
I did pretty greenlit. It looks like it.
I know that the reboot is happening, but is it confirmed that the reboot will be like coming from the studio, that this is going to be the Black Superman? Because the problem I have with it, them going in this path, is literally because of all of the Black Lives Matter stuff, and they want their version of Black Panther, and they're choosing Superman to do that. And I'm just like, nah, I'm not here for that. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, it's just so blatant in my face that, oh, hey, we care about Black people too. Here, we're gonna make Superman black. Like, no.
We're still waiting on Black Green Lantern.
Like, right, like that was right there in front of you. And Static Shock would have been, Static Shock was right there. Green Lantern was right there. Like, why are we doing this with Superman?
I think I'd like to see Michael Jill White. What's this? Mess up his name to be the Green Lantern. That'd be pretty cool.
Oh yeah, Michael Jai White.
Yeah, Michael Jai White.
Yeah.
He was Spawn.
Yeah, he would.
He would have been a good Green Lantern.
He would be good. I don't mind.
And I don't know why he won't return to Spawn again either, because I know Todd McFarlane's been trying to get the Spawn movie up and running.
Oh well.
But Jamie Foxx is tied to it, supposedly. But
I did hear that. Yeah, Jamie Foxx is supposed to be Spawn. He's tied to the.
I like that.
That's interesting.
I'm not mad at that. I'm happy that he's coming back as Electro, because I was sad that trilogy didn't do so well, and I thought he did great. So I would like to see him as another hero, even though he was a villain in that, but still. And we got to see him play a hero kinda in Project Power, even though that movie had its flaws. But I'd like to see more of Jamie Foxx doing those things.
Yeah, that should have been a TV series.
It really should have been.
That would have been a great TV show. Like we talked about it when it came on, because when we reviewed it, we said that. Like, and I'm gonna die on that hill. Like, that would have been a great TV show. Yeah. The whole plot though, it was built. It seemed like it was constructed to be a TV show, and they were like, "No, we're not going to greenlight a TV show, but we'll give you a movie budget." That's basically what it feels like happened. Like, they had ambitions for it to be more than just one movie, but. I digress. I won't get into that, but yeah, that was a good role for him. And I want to see him play more characters like that. Like, and just give him more stuff. Like, he's very versatile. Like,
also, on my road trip, I listened to his music again. I want him to start singing again too.
He's he is a unicorn. Like, he is so underrated as a talent, man. It's like, what can he do?
Yeah.
So
his stand up is hilarious. He's a great a great writer, great singer. Like, he can legit sing. Like, he can play piano. He plays multiple instruments.
Yes.
Like, what can he do? he can't do wrong. He's proven that he can be a dramatic actor as well. Like come on, that dude is way too talented not to have like projects lined up. You know what I'm saying?
Who's roast?
Like he's got range,
Did he
man.
take over?
This
who's roast? Who was getting roasted
of all time? That was who was that? It was a football player, I believe. Oh, speaking of Coop Daddy Yoda in the building, in the house, what's going on? I forgot, but no, that roast was iconic. That's legendary. I am your conscience. Oh man.
What's crazy is if you look up Jamie Foxx roast, the person who was supposed to be roasted that day, like you don't know because all they talk about is Doug Williams.
Yes. Boy, that was it. That was career ending.
It was Emmitt Smith's roast.
Who's
Emmitt Smith?
Yeah, it was a football player. That's what I thought. I just can't remember which one. I might be frozen.
Yes, you are.
He's back.
Yeah. Say something.
That yo, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Am I back? Mm-hmm.
You're back.
Yeah, yo. So when you type in Jamie Foxx roast on Google, Doug Williams pops up. That's hilarious. That's just great because that's who that's what his jokes target at. But it was well deserved because he was up on stage, like everything he was saying was horrible. Like none of his jokes were landing. It was time for him to move on. He kept going. Lesson learned. New creative for the Flash. Imagine what you could do with all that speed. Yeah, exactly. Like they don't really explore. I think. Well, no, the later seasons do have a lot more exploration of the Speed Force and all of that because the Speed Force stuff is really cool. They just don't do enough with it. Like they just need to be like 110% committed to the Speed Force because like when they do that Speed Force stuff is great. They should have handled the Speed Force in the Justice League movie. I'm pretty sure that's going to be what the Flashpoint movie is going to be about. I mean, they can't do Flashpoint without Speed Force, so there's that. But yeah, they've got to. I don't know, man. I Quicksilver did more with Speed in the Fox. What the 2-3 movies that he was in, he did more with Speed than the Flash has. So thus far,
he really didn't do anything in the movie.
Yeah, like
he raised Superman, and that was it. I thought.
He does show that he's if he moves fast enough, he can generate electricity, and he basically brings Superman back to life himself. But
the wild thing was, like, when that movie came out, I think in the TV show they had already gotten into the Flashpoint stuff. So he was running back and forth between dimensions and time and like going to other universes. And like then we get the Flash in Justice League, and he's barely like learning. He's just learning how to use his speed to it's at least running fast to his fullest extent. Like he hadn't even gotten to the Speed Force stuff yet. So it's kind of like, well, that's lame. Now we're going back.
I still don't know why they just didn't get the guy from the TV show too to be in the movie.
Because they don't have a plan.
Yeah,
that's where planning helps.
Everybody was
like, we're going to have all these TV shows that we're going to pump all this money into, and we're also investing a lot of money into these films, but none of this stuff is going to be connected. Stupid. Like sense. For what?
Yeah.
So now I got Flash in the TV universe, and I got Flash in the Justice League DCEU verse. They're two different people. And then we got to retcon this in the Flash TV show by creating Speed Force and having the DCEU Flash come into an episode just so we can explain, like, oh, this is a Flash from another universe. Oh, like, that's so stupid. Like, they do nothing but screw up over there at DC. It's like it's just a constant hot dumpster fire of calamity that continues to make money. They really just burn money over there. That's all they do. They just take cash and they just burn it.
Also, we watch it. It's our fault because we won't stop
watching we watch it. Like
keep watching it.
We just keep watching it. Like we just keep watching it. Like they're like, oh look, they like how this fire is burning. Let's keep throwing money at it. Let's watch it. get hotter. Let's see what they do. Oh, look, they're getting mad. The movies are still making billions of dollars. Oh,
We need to start bullying them the way we bullied the Sonic the Hedgehog people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's like the one good video game movie.
Like we can come together as a fan base to just thrash them on socials. I don't know. Maybe we can do some damage.
Now, see, like, yeah, people don't. Marvel and DC fan, as far as like the TV and film stuff go, like they're just getting into this like type of stuff. Like the seasoned vets, like Star Wars fans and the Star Trek fans, like they've learned how to bully people into doing what they want.
I don't know. Lucasfilms, like I don't think they're listening.
Yeah, no, they're definitely not.
I think the TV shows, I think the Disney Plus stuff would say otherwise.
You think so? Like the Bad Bunch? What's that new show coming out?
Bad Batch?
Yeah, the Bad Batch.
Bad Batch, Mandalorian,
I was thinking
Rangers
more
of the
about
New
how
Republic.
the trilogy was handled.
Like,
I was thinking more about like the trilogy and those films. But then again, we'll have to see
the amount of disdain that came from those trilogies. They've definitely, I mean, the whole reason why I don't care what you say, the reason why we had Luke Skywalker in season 2 was because of the fallout of the sequel trilogy. Like that is you would not have seen Luke Skywalker otherwise.
Something to make them feel better.
Yeah, season 7 of Clone Wars, like fans have been clamoring for season 7 since season 6 ended, and they gave them that. The amount of people that appreciated Rebels, they started incorporating like people were screaming for characters from animation to come into live action. They just started doing that through The Mandalorian because of Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau. Like, yes, it does work. It can be toxic at times, but it does work. The only problem is like when the fan base starts going at each other, like that's where it gets chaotic. But they're not.
Star Wars is a lot of that.
Yeah, Star Wars can be very divisive in that regard. Like people take sides and it gets real ugly. It got real ugly. It's still very ugly. It's still stuff that it's not easy to talk about because then all you do is attract certain types of people that will just be that. And it's like, I ain't got time for that. I don't have time for it. Like, nope.
I think that's all I have on DC.
I'm done with DC for sure.
I'm ready to get to this community discussion because when you told me about this, like my answer popped into my head instantly.
Let's get it.
So why don't you tell the people about your conversation in the last show?
Okay, so we talked about last stream. Donovan, you were here. You were present for that as well as JBN. We talked about our community topic, which would be let's set the press up real quick. Let's preface this a little bit. We were having a conversation about like offshoot movies, kind of like the Emoji Movie, Lego Movie, things that like are pop culture trends that for some reason ended up being TV shows and films. And we were like, yo, how come there are no like candy movies like dealing with certain types of candy? Like we go to the theater I've been going to the theater since the 90s. And I can't remember a time that I went to a movie theater and didn't see an M&M commercial with the M&Ms like CGI'd in there and they were doing their thing. But there's never been an M&M movie. So that spawned the question, what candy with characters could you make into a proper TV show or movie? And that's the community discussion for today. That's what we're going to talk about. So we're getting into. I'm ready to have this conversation.
I can start. I have a few answers, but I'll give my first one first. When you told me, the first thing I thought of were the Sour Patch Kids.
I didn't. You know what? I didn't think about that, and that's a great pick. I'm jealous. I didn't think about that one.
In these commercials, they're already animated. They're Sour Patch Kids. They're the candy, but they're up. They're moving. People bite them, and they might, cut off their friend's hair. And then when the sweet hits, they're braiding up the little patches. And I'm kind of torn between it being from the Sour Patch Kids point of view, or it being from the point of view of the people who are eating them and going crazy and doing crazy things. Like, it made me think of Watchmen, not Watchmen, Kingsman, the first one, where Samuel Jackson's character made that signal that made people go crazy and started attacking each other. Imagine if, you know, something happened to the Sour Patch Kids and people started eating them and just going nuts and being stupid violent, and like, I don't know, maybe the sour part was lasting too long, or there was too much sour, not enough sweet. Like, I just see it in my head as being nuts. Also, it has to be violent and rated R.
That's what I was about to say. Like, that actually has real potential to be an R-rated movie.
Yes.
Like,
that's very like David Lynch vibes.
It could be a horror movie too. Like, you could do horror thriller with that. Like, it depending on how, because that sour and sweet element is like, it has potential. Like, that's why I'm like, yo, I wish I totally forgot about Sour Patch Kids. So that was a good pick.
Like, it was the moment you said it, I was like, the Sour Patch Kids. What was your pick, Donovan?
I probably, I don't know, maybe like lightsabers and Jolly Ranchers. They're like at war with each other. I don't know.
Lifesavers versus Jolly Ranchers.
Oh, Lifesavers has the gummies now. Lifesavers got options, okay? Yeah. Like, you thought I was just a myth? I got hard candy, okay? I got gummies that come in tropical, that come in two-sided. What you thought this was? I got berry only.
Shoot. I'm sticking with M&M, yo. I need because you have so many different types of M&Ms. I remember there was a commercial at one point where it was like all of the different types of M&Ms, and they were like, it was like, I won't say they weren't at war, but it seemed like they had like beef with each other. Like, it was the caramel, because it's the regular M&Ms, and then you got like the peanut M&Ms, and then like it was the minis, and like I think the minis like invaded. I don't know what it was, but like it was, I think it was a Super Bowl commercial. I can't remember. But I'm like, yo, you could tell a story with all of these different, like a factional war between the M&Ms, and like have the peanut M&Ms and then plain M&Ms and like the other like types of M&Ms going to war with like the mini M&Ms, because it's like, it's so many of them. They could be like an invading force. Like, I don't know. Because that's what I feel like that's what the commercial was about. Like, all of the other M&Ms were like being overtaken by the minis in those little, they were coming down in their canisters, and like they would just had like this invasion force that would overwhelm you.
Skittles has a similar potential too.
It does.
But
well,
Skittles has more options, so it could be like a war. Like, you got the tropical Skittles, you got your regular Skittles, you got the sour Skittles. Like, that could definitely be a thing.
Skittles versus Reese's Pieces.
Okay, for the record, Reese's Pieces are better.
I would say.
Yeah. Well, you can't go wrong with peanut butter.
I would say a more fair. Well, M&M's or Nestle. Who were Skittles by? Actually, I might have Skittles.
Probably all the same company.
Yeah.
No, all of the candies are either Nestle or Hershey.
Yo, that was so Left Twix versus Right Twix. That was my second pick. Like, that story already kind of sort of exists within the.
They have two factories.
Right.
What I'm looking for is
right. Like, you got these two societies of Left Twix and Right Twix. I could rock with that. What are the
No, this is by Mars, and I believe Mars isn't Nestle.
Trev, what's going on?
T-Rev.
We're talking about
Candy Wars.
What candy would make a great TV show or movie?
All right,
if you took the character of this, or just the narrative around certain candies and create a TV show or movie, what would it be? Who would it be and what would it be on? What was those the hard candy that was in that divided box? I'm blanking on it. Like, Nerds.
Oh, who are Nerds by? I think Nerds are Hershey. I think
that would be, yeah.
Nerds versus Tic Tacs.
Oh yes,
No, that was
nerds.
stupid.
Okay, now that you've said that, I need like Sausage Party, but for candy.
Exactly. That's another
Yeah,
thing.
so that's what came up 2 weeks ago, I think.
Like, there's just so many different types of candy, so many jokes and conversations that can be had. But also now that like edibles are a thing, and
that would be hilarious.
Candies, like I'm pretty sure there's a Nerds rope edible. Like, I'm pretty sure I've seen that. I've seen gummy bears.
Bro, I would like a psycho thriller about gummy bears, the candy.
Oh, we could have a gummy bears versus Sour Patch Kids.
Exactly.
All right, I have another idea. So I'm about to name several candies, and they're all by the same company. These different types of chocolate bars. You have 100 Grand, Twix, Butterfinger, Turtles, Snickers, Milky Way, Payday, Baby Ruth, Musketeers, Crunch. And then I didn't even know there were this many different kinds of Milky Way, Snickers, and M&Ms are also Peanut Chews. All of these are by Nestle.
Could you do a Three Musketeers parody with Three Musketeers bar?
Probably. It could be a part. So my thought is there needs to be a film about why these companies have 1 million different chocolate bars and there's like one item removed from each. Like, isn't Snickers just not a Milky Way
or Mr. Good bar? What's the equivalent? There's another candy that's
it's like a Payday / Milky Way, right?
Yeah, but is it all the same? Are those two different? Those are two different companies, right?
No, all of the ones I named are by Nestle.
I like the fast break candy bar.
I was about to say, like, when you get into chocolate, like that really is where it gets like, I have no idea. That all gets muddy because I know Hershey's, Nestle. Who else are the manufacturers on that end? I don't know. Those are the big ones.
I guess Mars, like the company that made the Mars bar, is another one.
What else do they make besides the Mars bar? Like, I don't know what else, they make.
They're responsible for Skittles, apparently.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay.
Hershey's has 1 million different Hershey's bars. Do y'all like the Hershey's cookies and cream?
I've never had that one.
I've never had that either.
I just never looked appetizing to me. Also, I have a serious beef with white chocolate. I just don't like it. It's not real chocolate, and it just tastes like cocoa butter. I don't know why people.
It's very sweet. It's very sweet. I think the white chocolate in, like, if you put it in like the macadamia, like the cookie, like little, I couldn't eat a full bar of white chocolate, but like hints of it is fine because it's very sweet. It's super sweet. Like, I can't eat candy bars because now they give me headaches. Like, if I eat the mini candy, like the miniature, like Snickers, like, and I can eat that stuff or like a Hershey Kiss. But like a full on like candy bar, like I couldn't eat that. I'd get a headache immediately. I'd be out of the game.
It's all cool, T-Rev. Keep it coming. My favorite chocolate candy is between the Hershey's with almonds, and I also really like Almond Joy and Mounds. The coconut.
That's another one that they could do. Like, if you could make a movie about like the candy with or without nuts. Like, and have those two sides, kind of like the left Twix, right Twix.
And the ones with the nuts could be making fun of the ones without it because they have an allergy.
Yeah, or something like, create, like, play on all of the reasons why people choose one over the other, and like put that into the kind of like Coke versus Pepsi, like why people like imagine if Coke and Pepsi actually had beef, like, as a soda.
That would be a good movie,
and just be based on like every like that would probably work, because like if you just take all of the like reasons why people prefer one or the other and put those stereotypes into the movie, it would work.
So what if it starts out with a war between Coke and Pepsi and all their different different sodas, and then by the end they realize that the real war is against the grocery stores that have the off brands, and now it's Coke, Pepsi versus all the colas.
The colas, yeah.
The colas.
Also, T-Rev says that he likes the chocolate hollow Easter bunnies. I just can't sit and eat like straight chocolate. I just can't do it. Do y'all like chocolate where you could just
white chocolate or just chocolate in general?
Chocolate in general. I can't.
Yeah, I can eat chocolate straight up. I can.
Nah,
yeah.
that's
things. But
nope, not like that. Like I mean, nah. I don't eat. Well, I don't eat a lot of candy. Like I just never have. Like the primary thing is like it's always giving me headaches. Like I can't eat but so much. Like if I had like I said, like I couldn't eat a full candy bar. Like I've never been able to eat a full candy bar without getting a headache. So like that's part of my turn off and reason why I don't eat candy like that. Like it just that whatever the sugar is doesn't agree with my brain.
JBM, what's happening?
JBM.
Yo, what's up?
He wasn't ready. Too much caffeine.
I was not ready. I was in the settings here. What's up though?
How you doing, man?
We want to know what your pick is for your candy movie choice.
The candy movie? I said Airheads last time, right?
Yeah, you just said Airheads.
Yeah.
I was waiting on what this plot looks like for this Airheads.
I want to see an Airheads movie where they imitate the current Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Oh, that would be good. Like
the silver Airhead's gonna be Silver Surfer.
There's a silver Airhead.
Yeah, you don't Airhead. Come on now.
I fell off.
Oh, did you ever watch the movie Coop Airheads? Have you seen? Did you watch
no, I said I didn't watch that. I didn't watch that.
You gotta watch.
Yeah, that conversation branched off into the Airhead movie starring Brendan Fraser, Adam Sandler, and
Steve Buscemi.
Do I put chocolate in my chili to cool it off if it's too spicy?
I've never heard of that.
I've never heard anyone ever doing that.
I've heard of chocolate being put in moles and stuff, and I've had savory chocolate dishes, but I didn't know that you could add chocolate to a dish to cool off the spice.
I did, yeah. That's news to me.
Chocolate is the neutralizer. Okay.
Thank you.
I would just throw water in it, right? Who else would just throw water in it? Dilute that.
Diluting it isn't going to make it less spicy.
Yeah, it
it's
doesn't
gonna make
work
the spiciness watery, so it's gonna move around your mouth easier.
Yeah, water activates the spice more though.
Oh, word.
Yeah,
so I guess
that's like
almond milk.
Yeah, which is
almond milk does not help me.
Oh
yeah, it's there. I think. Well, I mean, sugar does neutralize the spice. Like that's the best thing you could do. But I've never heard anybody putting like the chocolate. Like I mean, it makes sense because sugar does neutralize spice, but like it's a better neutralizer than like water or milk. I mean, bread too is a good neutralizer for spice, but yeah.
Now I want to make chili, and I want to make it too hot intentionally so I can put chocolate in it.
Milk, period. Yeah. Hold up. So did anybody say Sour Patch Kids?
I did. That was my pick.
That was her pick.
And I'm stuck between whether or not it's a film from the Sour Patch Kids point of view or if it's a film from the people's point of view. Let's just say, like, instead of them being first sour then sweet, they were just all sour. So the people who were eating them started going crazy and killing each other, like how Kingsman, when Samuel L. Jackson's character turned on the signal in the church and everybody went crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Like that, but it's Sour Patch Kids.
Oh my goodness.
That's
late night Cartoon Network.
I want to see a Sour Patch Kids. It's a psychological thriller.
Yeah,
slash horror. Like that's what I want to see.
I'd like to see more R-rated movies in animation. Period. Like I've got ideas.
Or you could go like the Chucky route with it. With the Sour Patch Kids,
Like live action Chucky
Yeah.
size.
Oh,
Yeah.
I was thinking live action.
For the Sour Patch Kids, that would be interesting. Yeah, that would be interesting. I would like to see
even
that.
if it was from the Sour Patch Kids,
Well, like CGI, like
CGI, and then
with live action with real people, actors.
like
Kind of like Who Framed Roger Rabbit type stuff.
no, like what's the
CG.
movie?
Like Tom and Jerry.
Where Inside Out.
Smurfs? Oh, okay.
So like imagine somebody eats a Sour Patch Kid, or like just a group of Sour Patch Kids are controlling a person, but it's an actual live action person who's going through it. Kind of like how they do Garfield, or I guess Who Framed Roger Rabbit, but I still wanted the Sour Patch Kids to be tiny.
Yeah, I don't know. They could just CG
Small, but
stuff. Like they could. I was thinking more like Jungle Book, like live action Jungle Book or Lion King, where it's live action, not like 2D animation. But like you CG the Sour Patch Kids into it, or like Star Wars, like just anything live action where they've got CG characters. I would just CGI. I wouldn't use 2D animation.
I'd have them look like the little dolls from Tales from the Hood.
No, that's too creepy. Why do you do that?
I turn them into that. They run around.
I still have nightmares about that part.
Oh, the Red Vines. Oh yeah,
Miss Cooper's
Twizzlers
versus Red Vines.
Yo, I don't know why, but Twizzlers seem like they would be a villain of a candy.
You know who's the real villain?
Who's the real Vision? Huh?
Black
Licorice?
Licorice
Nah, man.
No, I don't do that to Black.
We can't
Still in
have
February, man.
Not
What are you talking about?
Listen, y'all. Listen, at least we're gonna get a black villain.
Hey, I feel you though.
No.
I feel you though, because I can't eat. I cannot eat licorice. I'm not gonna lie to you, but like, nah.
Not black jelly beans.
Oh
Black
God,
licorice.
no! Those get thrown away instantly. They never
It
get
can be
eaten.
voiced by a white man if we want to not feel bad about ourselves. We can go that route. Okay, it won't be by Samuel L. Jackson.
The no, those jelly beans. No one said jelly beans.
Nobody said
Or-
jelly beans.
Yeah.
It needs
Y'all
to be
just
from
forget
the.
Yes, so
about
like
jelly
that's a
beans.
good one because like you can put
The one, though,
personalities
is-
into the flavors.
It's certain
Or
the
like,
jelly beans. It's like got that
Jar
juice in it.
breakers.
Or you could do the Harry Potter jelly beans. Yo,
That was
was
a good one.
disgusting. You never had the Harry Potter jelly beans?
Are they shocking?
Man, oh
Yeah.
my
I get
lord,
that.
shocking is an understatement.
My grocery store has
Shocking
it
is
to
an
where
understatement.
it comes in a pack that has like a little spinner on it. So you spin to get like which one you have to eat, and it tells you what it looks like and what the flavor could be. And it's rough. It's
Yes. Yeah. Yo, Chanel and Ken bought those. That was like when we were kids. I don't think we made it through that pack, yo, but that was hilarious. That was quite an experience. That's something you definitely do in a group. Hey, that might be a fun drinking game.
No, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. So somebody's gonna get that one flavor. Somebody's gonna get that one flavor, and the whole party is over.
What's the worst flavor? Vomit?
Yes,
I ain't doing that.
Exactly. It's terrible. It's an experience, dude. God, that's rough. If you thought the popcorn flavor was bad with jelly beans, man, this is on a whole nother level. It's on a whole nother
I
level.
enjoyed the popcorn, the butter popcorn. That wasn't
Butter popcorn, and licorice are bottom tier of jelly bean pack.
licorice. Nothing is worse than licorice.
That is at the complete bottom, but like right above that is like popcorn.
All right, I'm pulling up the Harry Potter jelly beans flavors right now.
Oh, dirt. Yeah, I forgot they had dirt, man. But see, I don't know, man. That's terrible.
So-
Oh, whatever the green flavor too is in the regular regular jelly beans. Like that's horrible. That's the bottom tier too.
So
I don't know if that's supposed to be apple.
Harry Potter has 10 different flavors. 10 different beans with 20 different flavors. So you have stinky socks or tutti frutti. That's an option. You have rotten egg or buttered popcorn, which I'm cool with the buttered popcorn.
Because they do have good flavors in there.
Right. It's you just don't know if it's going to be the good one or the bad one. Until
Right.
you taste it. You got booger or juicy pear.
Yeah.
First of all, who tasted boogers to decide what that should taste like?
Exactly.
Mm.
And somebody had to do the research. That's
Yeah, baby
somebody had to do.
or coconut.
Yeah, that's the thing with these the Harry Potter flavors, Junior. Like they got like all good flavors and like the crazy flavors in them. Like so you don't know what you're gonna get. Like that's why it'd be a good drinking game.
They have a new
Okay,
flavor.
I think. Okay, yeah, that rings a bell.
Yeah.
Lawn clippings or lime, toothpaste or berry blue, canned dog food or chocolate pudding, moldy
Either of those, bro. That's
or caramel corn, and skunk spray or licorice. Both of those are bad for
That's
real.
terrible.
Like you're not winning
But-
it. The black one.
But I'm getting I'll eat the licorice over skunk spray because I have no idea.
Also,
I feel like they
can
get
only
skunk
imagine
spray
what that
wrong.
tastes
Though.
like.
These have
Oh, it's
changed
gonna taste like Dookie.
flavors than this.
It's no way like it's gonna that's no.
Mm.
Hey,
Oh man,
you gonna be hurt if you eat that.
I think there's two kinds. There's the Harry Potter ones, which have an assortment of nasty flavors, and then there's Bean Boozled. Bean Boozled, you can go
Bean
to
Boozled.
grocery stores
Bean
right
Boozled.
now and get, and that's what I was reading. Harry
that's
Potter,
supposed to be a good flavor.
huh?
Bean Boozled.
Nah, so like
Bean Boozled is the Jelly Belly game where you have two beans that look exactly the same, but the flavor is different. So like one is lime and one is fresh cut grass. So the Birdie Bots beans, which is Harry Potter, has the flavors banana, candy floss, which is like cotton candy, earthworm, marshmallow, soap, black pepper, cherry, earwax, rotten egg, tutti frutti, blueberry, cinnamon, grass, sausage, vomit, booger, dirt, green apple, lemon, and watermelon.
hey yo, imagine biting into a jelly bean and it tastes like a sausage, bro. Like, oh man, your whole day is ruined.
Yeah, sausage.
Your whole day is
The
ruined.
rotten egg,
Oh,
you
you
probably
outta here.
smell that before you even
Yeah.
did it.
Oh man, you out of here, dude.
Mm.
Yo, okay, so how would we structure that drinking game? Because I'm thinking like
I'm not playing
it's
it.
like either, but it could be you could set it like either or. Like you either because you're gambling on the flavor. I wouldn't say what the flavors were. You just line up the like beans right on the table. Let's say you're playing a card game. If you draw wrong, you either eat one of the jelly beans or you take a shot.
Oh, I'm gonna be toe up.
Exactly. That's a good drinking game.
I'm drinking.
That's a good drinking game.
Mm.
Because then you have an option. You take a chance on one of these beans, or you take a shot.
Is that an option? I feel like
is
the
an
more
option.
you drink, the more likely you are to eat the jelly.
That's the whole point of the drinking game.
Yeah.
That's why. If the goal of the drinking game is not to get you drunk, then
Right.
it's not a good drinking game.
We have to eat the full bean.
Of
like,
course, you gotta be fully committed.
You gotta go full
Listen.
bean.
You gotta be
Full bean.
down. You gotta be fully committed to the cause.
I'm down in that bad boy like a Tylenol.
Mm.
Hey yo, that's true. You could swallow it. No one would know. But no, we would know. Nah. If you swallow it, you gotta take a double shot.
If you swallow it, it's gonna give you halitosis.
I mean, it's gonna be worse if you chew it. It's all bad.
Oh man.
Eat
Wait.
that.
Oh man. Yes, that's where I'm like, yo. I think that would be a good drinking game. I just gotta figure out what card game or what because you'd be doing something else. Like it wouldn't be about the eating the beans the whole time. It's just the option.
Why does this sound like the beginning of another quarantine party? Zoom party.
I mean, nah, that has to be in person because you got to be there. You got to be there to witness.
You're right, because I'm
these
gonna eat
beans.
you Skittles.
Yeah, like we can't have. It's not gonna be as effective over virtual meeting. Like that has to be done in person. That's an in-person drinking game.
Any other ideas for films?
Maybe like jawbreakers, hard on the outside, but they're just soft on the inside.
Did you see the
Is that what a jawbreaker is?
I was about to say I thought they were hard all the way through.
No, that was the whole pitch. Like everyone
Oh,
thinks
you want to
they're
give
like
them a soft soul, kind
Yeah.
soul, kind
Okay.
soul.
Okay, I
a
could dig that.
kindness.
Donovan? Did you see the Ed, Edd and Eddie Meat Canyon parody?
No, I did not.
Oh, I'm gonna drop that in the comments so y'all can watch that. If you want to know what a jawbreaker movie would look like, that's the one.
Oh gosh, that's insane. Yeah, I mean,
'Cause they-
honestly,
and
it
then
would
I
be though.
remember in the show they did like jawbreakers a lot.
Yes.
That
And if you
would
want to
be.
know what a jawbreaker horror movie looks like, it's this.
Yeah, for Meat Canyon.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He's an interesting artist. We enjoy his work.
He is definitely an artist.
I want to
He's
see a
absolutely an
1,000.
artist.
Y'all ever had the 1,000 g candy bar?
Mm-mm.
Comes in a red package. Has a 100 g. I'm sorry,
Yeah,
100 g candy bar.
100 grams of
1,000
what?
grand.
Yeah, it's 100 g.
Oh, 100 grand.
Yeah, it's
That's
like
right.
chocolate, caramel, and nut. Yeah, turning it like a Vegas candy movie, like runs a casino. 100 grand. It'd be interesting.
I don't. Yeah, I didn't eat that much. But hey, that's all I got. Oh, that's the Meat Canyon thing.
Yes, that's the link to Meat Canyon
Oh.
for those who would like to see what jawbreaker horror film could look like. There is also a part 2 that you would see right after that video if you're interested.
Yes, that is a. It is rated R. Let's say so. Be advised, you're going to see some very graphic stuff if you click on that link. But yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's all I got.
Hey man, y'all have a good night.
All right. Well, there's JPM's closing remarks.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I'm mad. I'm sad I didn't get to join for the most part tonight. I've had some things going on, some studious
all good.
things.
Do you want to tell us how you felt about
Studious.
WandaVision?
About WandaVision, last episode?
Yeah, real quick.
It was all right. I feel like that episode should have happened 2 episodes back. I was
We
like,
agree.
man, I want to move forward. I don't want to move back.
Yeah.
7.8 on the scale, on the Richter.
It's cool, T-Rev. Well, the Snyder Cut has to come out. It drops on the 18th, so we will have stuff to talk about. So
Yeah, we'll definitely have a stream for that. We'll probably do because it's a 4-hour movie, so we should have a live stream, I think, dedicated to the Snyder Cut after we've all watched it.
I think that it comes out on a Thursday. It drops that Cookout that Saturday. Should be enough time for everybody to watch it.
Well, I mean, the Watchtower show is we've scheduled that to happen on Thursdays. So I mean, if everyone, well, I don't know, I'm not going to be able to watch that during the week. It's just not going to happen. I'll watch it on the weekend. But gosh, that's a long. I can watch it that Friday probably.
I don't think I can do a watch party because I'm going to need like breaks.
Yeah. No, Josh. Look, Josh is committed. That'll be a good time. Well, you know what? If Josh is doing a watch party, I can come and kick it with y'all for that because that's going to be a hilarious stream. In the chat with the Den of Nerds doing a watch party. What time is he going to do that though? Because if he's going to do this at like 3:00 in the morning, I'm definitely not doing that. I am not that hyped to watch the Snyder Cut. He might. Or he'll either do it when it drops, or he'll do it sometime during the day. I hope it's during the day because that 3 a.m. watch party for a 4-hour and 2-minute movie that's not the wave. Not the wave I'm on, partner. But yeah.
If you love us, please follow us on socials at Certified Gumbo on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and Twitch.
Yep.
If you enjoy our show. What we do, please support us. The link to the coffee page is in our description bar below. Please buy us some coffee. We need some money, y'all.
Absolutely. And also to make sure if you are a Star Wars fan or just a fan of the channel, you want to come talk Star Wars with us tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, do so. We will do a live stream here on this channel talking about Bad Batch. That did get an official release date for May 4th, which is my birthday. But there are a lot of things that this show can be setting up, a lot of possible cameos and things and people that could be appearing from the Star Wars universe. This is a time period that is kind of like not really all that explored in canon immediately after the fall of the Empire. So this is going to be interesting. Or not all after the fall of the Empire, excuse me, the fall of the Republic. But it sets up a lot of things. There's some potential characters that could pop up and other cameos. So that's what I'm going to be talking about tomorrow. Be sure to join me for that conversation if you're ready to have it. And then next Friday is the season finale review for WandaVision episode 9. That will be 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time here on the channel. We'll also have another episode 32 of the Cookout next Saturday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time as always. That's all I gotta say. Anybody else got any closing remarks?
That's it.
Good wrap up.
All right. And as I always say, peace, love, blessings, and may the force be with you always.
Peace.